Shalom. All praises go to the Most High Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. Double honors unto the elder apostles at great millstone for the teachings of the scriptures, among other things. Shalom to the sincere Akim across the world. Now, I have been sent this video by a brother in the camp that I'm in, and he was talking about, like, yo, this guy pulled a scripture concerning the book of Leviticus, chapter 10, verse 6, right? Because this brother, well, I'm going to just play the video, and then we just going to go up in the scriptures, and then we're going to go and check out what he said. And then I'm going to read it for you, and then we're going to get a better understanding, right? Check this out.
Okay, all right. Well, let me say this, man. And I believe on this is just a point for you, right? The scriptures say any man that prayed and prophesied with his head covered, he dishonored his head. So you brothers should uncover your heads while you...
That's in the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 11.
Teach you, no? I'm going to leave on that, man.
Where what he was just talking about, that's the book of 1 Corinthians. 1 Corinthians chapter 11. Now it says here, verse 2. Now I praise you, brethren, that ye remember me in all things, and keep the ordinances, as I deliver them unto you. As I deliver them to you. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Yahawah, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Yahawah is the Most High Yahawah. Every man praying or prophesying, having his head covered, dishonoreth his head. So who do you dishonor? You dishonor Yahawah, because it says that the head of every man is Yahawah. So you disrespect him, just like back in the days you had the cowboy movies when they came in. The cowboys used to take their head off for a female. When they see a female, they used to take their head off and stuff like that. Well, not that way, right? Like this. They used to take their head off for a female back in the days. You know, some clown shit. But anyway, you're supposed to do that for the Heavenly Father, right? That's what he was talking about. This is what this brother was referring to.
That's what the scriptures say. You said you go by the scriptures, right?
But according to the Bible, get that in 1 Corinthians 11. Right?
Any man praying and prophesying with his head covered, talking about the multitude coming, you dishonor with your head. That's what the scriptures say. So, you know.
But check this out, though. Right?
I already know the scriptures.
Right?
You know what I'm saying?
I know you know, but we got a different understanding of it.
Check out here too.
That's why we can't.
Sorry, check out here too.
Come together. Because Paul spoke about us teaching the same things.
We actually go to the Greek for it. Like you go to the Greek also.
Okay.
Like Greek literally said a veil, meaning all not supposed to wear a veil. That's what he's talking about.
Who wore the veils? Women wear veils, right?
Women wear veils.
Women cover their heads.
All these telling men not to wear those veils. Let me show you something right in the law. Bring that out.
Leviticus.
Now he's going to bring out the Leviticus.
It's 10 and 6. And Moses said unto Aaron, and unto Eleazar,
Right, so Moses speaking to Aaron and Eliezer, right?
and unto Ithamar, the sons, uncover not your heads.
So Moses is telling Aaron and the sons, Eliezer, the Aaronites, don't uncover their head. Go ahead.
Neither rend your clothes, lest ye die, and lest wrath come upon all the people. But let your brethren
Go to verse 10.
Verse 10.
Right, so remember, he told them, don't uncover your head. Go ahead.
So he said, don't uncover your head. Now, let me go up in it myself, and I'm going to take my time to get to there, right? Because it's talking about something totally different than what he just actually was mentioning. Now, it's here is the book of Leviticus, chapter 10, verse 1. And Nadab and Abihu, the sons of Aaron, took either of them his censer, and put fire therein, and put incense thereon, and offered strange fire before Yahawah, which he commanded them not. And there went out fire from Yahawah and devoured them. So he killed them. And they died before Yahawah. Then Moses said unto Aaron, this is it that Yahawah spake, saying, I will be sanctified in them that come nigh me. So the ones that follow him, that go toward him and keep his ways. And before all the people I will be glorified. And Aaron held his peace. Aaron, he was just basically, he was quiet. He was like, oh, okay, the Most High killed these sons. He was quiet. He held his peace. He didn't say anything back, right? Because you're not supposed to be talking back toward the Heavenly Father. Because it says here, so in the book of Job 34 and also Romans 9. Job 34 and 18. Is it fit to say to a king, thou art wicked? And to the princes, ye are ungodly? How much less to him that accepted not the person of princes, nor regarded the rich more than the poor. Yahawah, the book of James chapter 2. And also this is in chapter 2. For they are all the work of his hands. So you don't say nothing to a king, man. You know, when he does something, you better be, you know what I'm saying? Romans chapter 9 verse 14. What shall we say then? Is there a righteousness with the Heavenly Father? Yahweh forbid. God forbid. For he said unto Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. So then it is not of him that willeth, nor of him that runneth, but of Yahweh that showeth mercy. So basically, the Most High calls the shots, as he says it right here. You know, not according to works, but of him that calleth. He's the shot caller, right? So you don't say, wait, verse 19. Thou wilt say then unto me, why doeth he yet find fault? For who had resisted his will? Nay, but, O man, who art thou that repliest against Yahweh? Shall the thing formed say to him that formed it, why hast thou made me thus? Right? You can read the rest for yourself, but I'm just getting to the points. Right? So it says here, that's why Aaron held his peace. That's the point. And Moses called Mishael and Elzavan, the sons of Uzziel, the uncle of Aaron, and said unto them, come near, carry your brethren from before the sanctuary out of the camp, because they died. So they went near and carried them in their coats out of the camp, as Moses had said. Now here it comes, what this guy pulled, and that he said that the priests are not supposed to uncover their heads. And Moses said unto Aaron, and unto Eleazar, and unto Ithamar, his sons, uncover not your heads, neither rent your clothes, lest ye die, and lest the wrath come upon all the people. What wrath? This one. Because he killed them. Because they broke his laws. This one. They broke his ways. They did something that he did not tell them to do, which is offering up that strange fire. That wrath. But let your brethren, the whole house of Israel, because they were Levites, by the way, bewail the burning which Yahawah had kindled. Now when it says here, uncover not your heads, neither rent your clothes, is the old custom that we have from back in the days that the Israelites were not supposed, well, let me read it. They were, when you are in a state of mourning, then what you do is you basically uncover your head. But they was not allowed to do that for these dead people. But the rest of the Israelites were allowed to do that. Because if they did it, they would die. That's what the Lord said. And Moses said unto Aaron, and unto Eleazar, and to Ithamar, his sons, uncover not your heads, neither rent your clothes, lest ye die. Going back to over here. Now it says here, the book of Leviticus chapter 13, verse 45. And the leper in whom the plague is, his clothes shall be rent, and his head bare, as a sign of mourning. And he shall put a covering upon his upper lip, as a sign of, basically, shut up. You have nothing to say. Also in the book of Sirach 5 and 12, if I'm correct. The book of Sirach in the Apocrypha 5 and 12. If thou hast understanding, answer thy neighbor. If not, lay thy hand upon thy mouth. This is, you can use this, but actually this is more going into that basically you have nothing to say. You are confounded. You're supposed to be ashamed. And I'm going to get to that because it's going to say it later. And cry, unclean, unclean. And the reason why that person should cry unclean, unclean, because Leviticus chapter 4, Lamentations chapter 4 and 15 said, they cried unto them, depart ye, it is unclean, depart, depart, touch not. When they fled away and wandered, they said among the heathen, they shall no more sojourn there. So the reason that they was that he needed to cry unclean, unclean, because he's unclean, and this is how you show that you are, you know, or in a state of mourning, or that you are, yeah, in a state of mourning, or that you have some form of plague of something, or like that on you. As you can see, the book of Numbers, chapter 12, verse 12. Let her not be as one dead, of whom the flesh is half consumed when he cometh up out his mother's womb. That's going into the leper now. Let me start at 9. And the anger of Yahweh was kindled against them, and he departed, and the cloud departed from off the tabernacle, and behold, Miriam became leprous, white as snow. And Aaron looked upon Miriam, and behold, she was leprous, which is white as snow. And Aaron said unto Moses, Alas, my Lord, I beseech thee, lay not the sin upon us, wherein we have done foolishly, and wherein we have sinned. Let her not be as one dead, of whom the flesh is half consumed when he cometh up out his mother's womb. And Moses cried unto Yahweh, saying, Heal her now, O power, I beseech thee. And Yahweh said unto Moses, If her father had but spit in her face, should she not be ashamed 7 days? Let her be shut out of the camp 7 days, and after that let her be received in again. And Miriam was shut out of the camp, from the camp 7 days, and the people journeyed not till Miriam was brought in again. And afterward the people removed from Hazeroth and pitched in the wilderness of Paran. Ezra chapter 9 verse 3. And when I heard this, I rent my garments and my mantle, and plucked off the hair of my head and of my beard, and sat down astonished, which is astonished. Genesis 37 and 34. And Jacob rent his clothes, and put sackcloth upon his loins, and mourned for his son many days. 1 Corinthians 11 and 14. Doth not nature itself teach you, that if a man have long hair, it is a shame unto him? Sorry. Verse 15. But if a woman have long hair, it is a glory to her, for her hair is given her for a covering. So the covering that a woman has is her hair. So guess what? When you uncover your head as a man, and you are not supposed to, that goes into making your head bare, as you can see it right here with the leper. Leviticus chapter 13 verse 45. And the leper in whom the plague is, his clothes shall be rent, and his head bare, meaning just let your hair go, right? So going on over here, as a sign of mourning. This is we have different signs of mourning back in the days. Micah 1 and 16. Make thee bald, or you can make your head bald, and poll thee for thy children, or you can trim your hair for your children, right? For thy delicate children. Enlarge thy baldness as the eagle, and this goes into the word vulture, because eagles have hair or feathers. This goes into the vulture. For they are gone into captivity from thee. So that's another sign of mourning. So with the uncovering, that goes into your hair, right? And here you have the word Leviticus. Well, let me scan the other one first. Now this is Leviticus 10 and 6, which is the one that he read, which is said, And Moses said unto Aaron and unto Eleazar and unto Ithamar his sons, Uncover not your heads, neither rent your clothes, lest ye die, lest wrath come upon all the people. But let your brethren, which is the rest of Israel, the whole house of Israel, bewail the burning which Yahweh had kindled, right? So this word here is Hebrew 65:44, and if you check out the rest, it's actually 1540, all the way here, 1540, and then here comes around here. So yeah, here comes 65:44 again, 65:44, and the rest is 1540. Oh no, wait a minute. This one is another one again, right? So it's only three different uncover in the Bible, right? This one is did I get it here really? Yeah, it's the same, right? This one is Hebrew 65:44, to lead act as leader to let go, to basically let loose, ignore, let alone, to let go, let loose, to let alone, avoid, neglect. Basically, what he was telling here is that don't don't uncover your head for these deads. Basically, don't go up in a mourning state, and don't rent your clothes for these people that died. It's not talking about when you prophesy, you don't, it's not uncover your head. And then I'm going to go on until verse 11, which he said that the brother, which he was talking toward the brother, that the guy should read, right? Which is this scripture over here. So I'm going to go on. Now it says here that, wait, am I finished here? I'm kind of finished here. Wait, here. Right, so it's about let go. So now going into the Strong's definition, here you should make bear. So it says here, so in the Strong definition, it says parai, says to loosen, by implication, to expose, dismiss, figuratively, absolve, begin, avenge, avoid, bear, go back, let, make, naked, set at naught, perish, refuse, uncover. So the bear, and then you can link it up with here, Leviticus chapter 13, verse 45. And the leper in whom the plague is, his clothes shall be rent, and his head bare, and he shall put a covering upon his upper lip. That shows you that when you have a mask on your face, it's a sign of submissiveness. That's why Esau is pushing that you put the mask above your like upper lip, like on the nose and stuff like that, because he wants you to be that submissive man, and he wants you in mourning. I'm not putting the mask on, by the way. If you have to, you have to, but I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. But then we will see. If the Most High put the Spirit on me to do it, then hey, you know what? But me personally, I'm not doing it. Anyway, and shall cry unclean, unclean. Right. So our customs is to put or dirt upon our head, because that is also what we was doing. Or ashes, which is, did I have it here? Right here? Yeah. No. I put it somewhere. Was it here? Yeah, here, the ashes on the head, the earth on the head. Let me just read these real quick. Wait, I'm gonna get to that. Right, so only here, so right. So it says here, uncover the head. Blah, 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 blah. Right, let me just finish this really in order. Right, uncover the head. So 7. So it says here. Right, I just read 7. Okay, let me read 6 again. And Moses said unto Aaron and unto Eleazar and unto Ithamar, his sons, uncover not your heads, neither rent your clothes, for the dead, lest ye die. Because now it would look as if the Heavenly Father made a mistake if they go and do that, like, oh, he signed it, see? They signed it with us too, because we don't agree with that, you know what I'm saying? Why they have to die like that? And lest wrath come upon all the people, but let your brethren, the whole house of Israel, bewail the burning which Yahawah had kindled. And ye shall not go out from the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, lest ye die. For the anointing oil of Yahawah is upon you. And they did according to the word of Moses, because the priest will be anointed on the head here. Yeah, here, if I'm correct. Let me get to it later. Because the priests were anointed with the anointing oil and how you call that? So, put aside, holy. What the hell was that thing again? Sacred, made sacred, yeah. Verse 8. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, do not drink water, nor strong drink, thou nor thy sons with thee, when ye go into the tabernacle of the congregation, lest ye die. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations. This is the reason why we don't drink before we go to camp, by the way. because we need to keep it through all the generations when we go out there and teach. And that ye may put off, and that ye may put difference between holy and unholy. So basically what to do and what not to do. And between unclean and clean. Again, between what not to do and what to do. And that ye may teach the children of Israel all the statutes which Yahawah had spoken unto them by the hand of Moses. So what it was talking about is that they should not uncover their head for these dead, which is a custom that we had back in the days. But later on that custom changed. And then it went into, let me see here. Let me read this verse. Leviticus chapter 21, verse 1. And Yahawah spake unto Moses, and Yahawah said unto Moses, speak unto the priests, the sons of Aaron, and say unto them, there shall none be defiled for the dead among his people, but for his kin, that is near unto him, that is, for his kin that is near unto him, that is, for his mother, and for his father, and for his son, and for his daughter, and for his brother, and for his sister, a virgin. So if your sister been popped, guess what? You can't be defiled for that dead by going to her, near her, and stuff like that. That is nigh unto him, close unto him, right? Which had no husband, for her may he be defiled. But he shall not defile himself, being a chief man among his people, to profane himself. So that's why they was not allowed to do that. That was the reason why they was not allowed to do that. So going on, right, so it says here, Leviticus 21 and 5. They shall not make baldness upon their head, neither shall they shave off the corners of their beard, nor make any cuttings in their flesh. They shall be holy unto their power, and not profane the name of their power. For the offerings, and by the way, that's why Aaron held his peace. For the offering of the Lord made by fire, and the bread of their power they do offer. Therefore they shall be holy, because they're doing the offerings and stuff like that. They shall not take a wife that is a whore, or profane, neither shall they take a wife put away from her husband, for he is holy unto his power, Yahawah. And in Ezekiel chapter 44, it goes on also to explain what more he is allowed to do. Where is it again? Ezekiel chapter 44, verse 22. This is about the priests. Neither shall they take for their wives, what? Neither shall they take for their wives a widow, nor her that is put away. But they shall take maidens of the seed of the house of Israel, or a widow that had a priest before. So they are allowed to take a woman that had a husband, and the husband died, but that husband had to be a priest, or else they cannot take that woman. And they shall teach my people the difference between the holy and profane, and cause them to discern between the unclean and the clean, because that's the job of a priest. You know, you can read this for yourself too, and also you can read this for yourself. I can read it. Neither shall they shave their heads, nor suffer their locks to grow long. They shall only poll their heads. Just cut your hair. Neither shall any priest drink wine when they enter into the inner court. So that's another reason why we don't drink alcohol when we go out there and teach. It's not allowed. You might die. I would not hope that for you. But then, if you are drunken, then hey, the Most High is long suffering. But thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy power. So yeah, let me see. I don't have to read that. Okay, going on. Verse 8. Thou shalt sanctify him therefore, for he offereth the bread of thy power. You shall sanctify the priests. He shall be holy unto thee, for I am Yahawah, which sanctify you, am holy. What? For I, Yahawah, which sanctify you, am holy. And the daughter of any priest, if she profane herself by playing the whore, she profaneth her father. She shall be burned with the fire. And he that is high priest among his brethren, among whose head the anointing oil was poured, and that is consecrated. I was looking for this word. I said sacred. I mean consecrated. And that is consecrated to put, sacred is also the same thing, kind of. To put on the garments, shall not uncover his head, nor rend his clothes. Neither shall he go in any, meaning that I'm going to read that right here. If I'm good, right, was here? Yeah, here. Well, wait. No, here. Yeah, here. I'm going to read that in a few. So the high priest, right, shall not uncover his head, nor rend his clothes, right? Neither shall he. What the fuck's wrong with my throat, man? This is fucking dry or some shit. This is fucking irritating, man. Bullshit. Some madness. Neither shall he go in to any dead body, nor defile himself for his father or for his mother. Neither shall he go out of the sanctuary, nor profane the sanctuary of his power. For the crown of the anointing oil of his power is upon him. I am Yahawah. And he shall take a wife in her virginity, a widow, or the first woman, or profane, or an harlot. These shall he not take. But he shall take a virgin of his own people to wife. Like I said in the book of Ezekiel 44 and 22, it showed you that he can take a widow, but the widow... sorry. Sorry. This is the high priest. The high priest cannot do that. These one can. Because they are also allowed to defile themselves. But he is not. Almost made a mistake there. Sorry. Right now, going here, which is a custom of the ancient. This is 2 Samuel 15 and 30. And David went up by the ascent of Mount Olivet. Alright. Olivet. And wept as he went up, and had his head covered, and he went barefoot. And all the people that was with him covered every man his head. And they went up, weeping as they went up. So here, they covered their head, right? So it says here, Jeremiah 14 and 3, and their nobles had sent their little ones to the waters. They came to the pits and found no water. They returned with their vessels empty. They were ashamed and confounded, and covered their heads. I missed something. Verse 4, because the ground was chapped, and chapped means cracked, right? Yeah, I have to type with one hand when you see chap ground. No. Yeah, I saw it. No. Yeah, like this. Kinda. But wait. Chapped. Definition. To crack. And what do you have? Cracked ground. This. That's what you did, is cracked. Right? So it says here, because the ground was chapped, for there was no rain in the earth. The plowmen were ashamed. They covered their heads. So now in the shame that they covered their head, right? Now Ezekiel 27 and 30. And shall cause their voice to be heard against thee, and shall cry bitterly, and shall cast up dust upon their heads. They shall wallow themselves in the ashes. So they put dust upon their head as mourning, and they put ashes upon the head as mourning. 1 Samuel 4 and 12. And there ran a man of Benjamin out of the army, and came to Shiloh the same day with his clothes rent, and with earth upon his head. That was another sign of mourning. 2 Samuel 15 and 32. And it came to pass, when David was come to the top of the mount, where he worshipped Yahawah, behold, Hushai, the Arachite, right, came to meet him with his coat rent and earth upon his head, so the dirt upon his head. First Samuel chapter 1 verse 1 Samuel 15 and 30. Then he said, I have sinned, yet honor me now, I pray thee, before the elders of my people and before Israel, and turn again with me. Why did I put this? I think I had it wrong. Sorry. I don't need to read this one. Micah 3 and 7. Then shall the seers be ashamed, the prophets, the false prophets in this case, if you read from verse 5. And the diviners confounded, yea, they shall all cover their lips, they shall be confounded. For there is no answer of Yahweh. There goes the covering of the lip again. Basically, shut up. You have nothing to say, you're confounded, right? 1 Corinthians 12 and 26. And whether one member suffer, all the members suffer with it, or one member be honored, all the members rejoice with it. That's the same thing concerning here. But in this case, the sons were not, and Moses said of Leviticus 10 and 6, and Moses said unto Aaron, and unto Eleazar, and unto Ithamar, his sons, uncover not your heads, neither rent your clothes. So you have the people, one suffered, so basically everybody suffered. This is going into the members of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, but in this case I could use it because because in this case they was not allowed to suffer with the rest, but the rest were allowed to actually suffer and bewail the deaths of these two, of these two. No, because I read this one, so I counted 3, but it was an Aaron. Right. So now you have Ezekiel 24 and 15. The point is in 17. But anyway, this is about Ezekiel, his wife. Ezekiel chapter 24 verse 15. Also the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, behold, I take from thee the desire of thine eyes with a stroke, which the desire of a man's eye is his wife. Yet neither shalt thou mourn nor weep, neither shall thy tears, there shall thy tears run down. Forbear to cry, basically don't do it. Make no mourning for the dead. Bind the tear of thine head upon thee. So tie the thing upon your head. Normally when somebody dies, you put that thing off of you. But I just read to you that King David did that. When he was in mourning, he tied his head. And we had other customs too. You rent your clothing, you put dirt upon your head, you put ashes upon your head, and you pluck the beard out of your face, which is somewhere. I'll put it here. Then I'll put it here. I'll put it somewhere, but then it was here. Last one. Really? Yeah, it was here. Yeah, it was here. Ezra chapter 9 verse 3. And when I heard this thing, I rent my garment and my mantle, and plucked off the hair of my head and of my beard, and sat down astonished, which is astonished, right? Jeremiah chapter 37 verse 34. Now it says, and Jacob rent his clothes, and put sackcloth upon his loins, and mourned for his son many days. So these are the things that we did. We rent our clothing and put sackcloth on, and then we mourned for whatever type of loss you have at that time. Now where was I? Yeah, Ezekiel 24 and 17. Forbear to cry. Make no mourning for the dead. Bind the tear of thine head upon thee. You had the tear, and then you had the mitri, right? Which is two kind of different things. Tier. You know what? I'm gonna go to the Blue Letter Bible. Tier, right here. Hebrews 62:87. Headdress, ornament, turban, right? And then you had the mitri, right, which is Hebrew 47:01, turban of the high priest. So this was another one, a different type, because they had different types of mitris, because certain were special unto the Heavenly Father. Sorry, I was thinking and looking at the same time. Sorry. Certain was special unto the high priest. I didn't mean the Heavenly Father. I mean the high priest. And then certain was just for the regular people and stuff like that. So they kind of look different. They look different. But it goes still into a turban, headdress, and, you know, ornaments and stuff like that. So on, right, going on. Bind the tire, or tire, I don't know. I don't know how you pronounce it actually. Of thine head upon thee, and put on thy shoe and put on thy shoe upon thy feet, and cover not thy lips, and eat not the bread of men. So put on your shoe. Basically, don't mourn her as normally. Because normally we would take off our shoe in respect, just like how Moses took off his shoe because he was on holy ground. I think I just read that here in 2 Samuel chapter 15 and what, 30? Yeah, 2 Samuel 15 and 30. And David went up by the ascent of Mount Olivet, and wept as he went up, and had his head covered, and he went barefoot, which symbolizes the sorrow that he is in, right? So going back to over here. But now, the Heavenly Father told, because the Most High told Ezekiel, you should put on your shoes. And he's going to explain why. Keep your shoes on, basically, your slippers, your sandals. And cover not thy lips, meaning basically don't humble yourself. Because this was also a way of showing humbleness, as King David also covered his mouth. Where was it? Yeah, wait a minute. Where was it again? 2 Samuel, 1 and 16. Wait. Yeah, sorry about that. 2 Samuel 19 and 4. But the king covered his face. Well, he covered his face, but yeah. Which was going into because he was sorry. Wait, let me read it from first one. 2 Samuel 19 and 2. And it was told Joab, behold, the king weepeth and mourneth for Absalom, his son that was dead. And the victory that day was turned into mourning unto all the people, because it was a victory, yes, but it was also mourning because the son of the king died. The king, his son, died. For the people heard say that day how the king was grieved for his son. That's when they was like, the victory turned into mourning, because they heard that the king was mourning for his son, which he loved the most. And the people get them by stealeth, wait. And the people get them by stealeth that day into the city. So they snuck into the city, like they was thieves, as being ashamed, steal away when they flee in battle. Sorry. As people being ashamed, steal away when they flee in battle. So they basically was very quiet because they was like, you know, let's not make this victory shout because he lost his son. Even though we got the kingdom back, he still lost his son. But the king covered his face, and the king cried with a loud voice, "Oh, my son Absalom, oh, Absalom, my son," right? Esther 6 and 12. And Mordecai came again to the king's gate, but Haman hastened to his house mourning and having his head covered. So the covering of the head is a sign of mourning, actually, right? But you also had it where you had that our people used to make their head bare or rip their hair out of their head or out of their beard, which was a sign of mourning in those days. But the priest was not allowed to do that. But anyway, let me see if I'm done here. I was right here and I was looking for it. But anyway, sorry about that. Now it says that Ezekiel 24, and I think I'm almost done, by the way. And oh yeah, sorry. So Ezekiel 24 and 17, and put thy shoe upon thy feet, and cover not thy lips. Right? Don't be, in a humble type state, or don't be like you're confounded or you're sorrowful, because these were all the things that men did in order to show that they're sorrowful because his wife just died. Well, his wife was about to die. He's going to say it here later. Where is it again? I'm going to read that later, but anyway. No, it says here, he was not allowed to mourn nor weep, forbear to cry, make no mourning for the dead, bind the tear of thine head upon thee, and put on thy shoe upon thy feet, and cover not thy lips. That was also a sign of mourning. And eat not of the bread of men. Now, when it says eat not of the bread of men, it actually goes into this. Deuteronomy chapter 24, verse 14. I have not eaten thereof in my mourning. Because back in the days we had a custom that until this day our people have that same custom. When somebody dies, what do you bring? Food. You bring food to that person that is mourning. You bring food. And until this day, you can actually see that is actually something that can make you kind of happy. How? People that are fat often get fatter and sadder because they bullied or something. And then what do they start doing? They start eating. They start eating away. Deuteronomy 26 and 14. I have not eaten thereof in my mourning, neither have I taken away aught thereof for any unclean use, nor given aught thereof for the dead. But I have hearkened to the voice of Yahawah my power, and have done according to all that thou hast commanded me. You can read the whole chapter for yourself. Jeremiah 16 and 1. The word of Yahweh came also unto me, saying, Thou shalt not take thee a wife, neither shalt thou have sons or daughters in this place. Why was I reading this again? Let me just go here. You can read the rest for yourselves. Verse 6. I wanted to just go up. Yeah, wait, let me see. Let me just read this too. For thus saith Yahweh concerning the sons and concerning the daughters that are born in this place, and concerning their mothers that bear them, and concerning their fathers that begot them in this land, they shall die of grievous deaths. They shall not be lamented, neither shall they be buried, but they shall be as dung upon the face of the earth. This is basically also what he was telling what he was saying here unto them, that don't uncover your heads nor rent your clothes. For what? For them, lest you die also, because what they did was wicked. So don't justify them. Does any man perish being innocent? The perish means die a sudden, violent death. Perish. Die, especially in a violent or sudden way. Does any man perish being innocent? I know where it is, but I kind of forgot. It's in Jeremiah. No, Job 4. Let me just get Job 4, man. Job 4 and what? 7. Yeah. Remember, I pray thee, whoever perished being innocent? No one. Or where were the righteous cut off? Nowhere. Never. Even as I have seen, that they that plow iniquity and sow wickedness reap the same. So they was not innocent, and therefore they was not allowed to uncover their heads for them, right? Meaning make the hair bare, as it is written in the book of Leviticus 15 and 45, which is a sign of mourning. You can see unclean, unclean. So where was I? Right, so it says here, and they shall be, Deuteronomy 16 and the rest of 4, and they shall be consumed by the sword and by famine, and their carcasses shall be meat for the fowls of heaven and for the beasts of the earth. For thus saith Yahweh, enter not into the house of mourning. Unto who is he talking? Jeremiah. Enter not into the house of mourning, neither go to lament, nor bemoan them. For I have taken away my peace from this people. And in this case, he has taken away his peace from these two. Saith Yahweh, even loving kindness and mercy is what he did for those two. Both the great and the small shall die in this land. They shall not be buried, neither shall men lament for them, nor cut themselves, nor make themselves bald for them, because the cutting is what the heathen nations was doing actually. Neither shall men tear themselves for them in mourning. That's why Yahweh said that you shall not cut yourself for the dead, because the heathens round about was doing it. That was their customs, and our people was not allowed to do that. But the other people was also tearing their hair out of their heads and stuff like that, which is somewhere in Jeremiah. I kind of forgot where it is. Going on. Now it says here, neither lament, nor cut themselves, nor make themselves bald for them. Neither shall men tear themselves for them in mourning, to comfort them for the dead. Neither shall men give them the cup of consolation, to drink for their father or for their mother. Hosea 9 and 4. They shall not offer wine offerings to Yahweh, neither shall they be pleasing unto him. Their sacrifices shall be unto them as the bread of mourners. So this goes to show you again that people that are mourning, they call it the bread of mourners, because it was men that made bread for the people that lost a family member, and they would not bring it to that family member while the dead body is around. They would of course do it afterward, or else the food would be unclean. That's in the book of Numbers chapter 9 verse 14 on down. All that eat thereof shall be polluted, right? Because it's referring to that. For their bread, for their soul, shall not come into the house of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. So this was a curse. How and where? Haggai chapter 2 verse 12. If one bear holy flesh in the skirt of a garment, and with his skirt do touch bread, or pottage, or wine, or oil, or any meat, shall it be holy? And the priest answered and said, No. Then said Haggai, if one that is unclean by a dead body touch any of these, shall it be unclean? And the priest answered and said, It shall be unclean. Then answered Haggai and said, So is this people. So he was given an example of a fact. And so is this nation before me, saith Yahweh. And so is every work of their hands, and that which they offer, there is unclean. And that which they offer, there is that which they offer there is unclean. Sorry, right? Which is mentioned here. So it's not allowed to. This is not talking about that. You know, this has to do with all of this. Wait, sorry. This is precepts upon each other. Actually, I didn't need to actually pull this one, but I thought because I pulled this one, that I have to pull this one to explain this one, and then to explain this one, the Haggai, I have to actually explain this one. Sorry to pull this one, but yeah, sorry for that. Which is yeah, one man diet. But we had those customs, right? Jeremiah chapter 6, verse 20. To what purpose? Yeah, this is also a precept for the one that I just read here before, the three here. The Hosea 9 and 4, Haggai 2 and 12, and Numbers 9 and 14. To what purpose cometh there to me incense from Sheba, and the sweet cane from a far country? Your burnt offerings are not acceptable, nor your sacrifices sweet unto me. Right, so that was a precept upon that. Joel 2 and 13. And rent your heart, not your garments. Turn to Yahawah your power, for he is gracious and merciful, slow to anger, and of great kindness, and repented him of the evil. Right? Yeah, that's the mercy of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. But he was talking about that. And this is an example to show you that later on he started to saying like, listen, you should rent your heart instead of your clothing. Yeah, because the Most High wants a contrite heart, which is the book of Psalms 51 and what was it again? Psalms 51 and what? Psalms 51 and 16. For thou desirest not sacrifice, else I would give it. Thou delightest not in burnt offering. The sacrifices of Yahawah is a broken spirit, and a broken and a contrite heart, O power, thou will not despise. So basically, the sacrifices of the Most High is a broken spirit instead of blood. Blood sacrifices. Now this is the book of. Sorry, it's late. It's late, man. It's late. Sorry. I'm not really tired, but I'm tripping. Tripping. So it says here, contrite, feeling or expressing remorse at the recognition that one has done wrong. That's what the Lord would want, actually. He doesn't delight in sacrifices, because I would rather that thou obeyest than that thou sacrifice. First Samuel 15 and 22. And Samuel said, Had Yahawah as great delight in burnt offering and sacrifices as in obeying the voice of Yahawah? Huh? Which one do you think he likes more? As Samuel told Saul, ex-King Saul, behold, to obey is better than sacrifice. Why? Because if you have to sacrifice, then you didn't listen. That's why you need sacrifice for sins. But if you obeyed, you didn't need to sacrifice because you obeyed. Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to hearken than the fat of rams. So it's better than than the sacrifice, because the fat of rams is being sacrificed and stuff like that. Right, so, okay, this is gone then. And then you have Jeremiah 7 and 29. Cut off thine hair, O Jerusalem, as a people. So symbolically, you're supposed to mourn by cutting your hair, and cast it away, and take up a lamentation on high places. For Yahawah had rejected and forsaken the generation of his wrath. And that wrath, well, we went into slavery. That's the generation of his wrath. That's the time when he was really angry. And rightfully so. Are you going to call him wicked? I should not do that if I was you. Job chapter 1, the book of Job chapter 34 shows you that. Don't do it. It's a very beautiful chapter, the book of Job chapter 34. Very, very good. What the hell did I just... Sorry. Here is it, sorry. Here, book of Job 34. You can read the whole chapter. I didn't color everything in because I was in my book. I did, but he not here. Right, and where was I here? Job chapter 1 and 20. Then Job arose and rent his mantle and shaved his head. He basically uncovered his head and fell down upon the ground and worshipped. Micah 3 and 7. I already read that. Read it again. Then shall the seers be ashamed, and the diviners. Well, let me read the full concept thereof. Micah 3 and 5. Thus saith Yahawah concerning the prophets that make my people err, which are these type of people. And I find it weird also that they use these filters and stuff like that. It's like a bunch of millennium children. I don't know. I don't want to say nothing bad. Let me just go on. It's just weird. Just fancy stuff and stuff like that. Nah, I just put it wrong. But hey, that goes my opinion again, which I shouldn't even be. Anyway, concerning the prophets that make my people err, that bite with their teeth and cry peace, and he that putteth not into their mouths, they even prepare war against him. Therefore, because you do this, night shall be unto you, that ye shall not have a vision, and it shall be dark unto you, that ye shall not divine. And the sun shall go down over the prophets, and the day shall be dark over them. Here it comes. Then shall the seers, these false prophets, be ashamed, and the diviners, these false diviners, confounded. Yea, they shall all cover their lips, for there is no answer of Yahawah. That's why I grabbed the book of Sirach chapter 5, verse 12, which it said that if you don't know, shut your mouth. And clearly, the light is gone from them. Only darkness. So they don't know anything. So the best thing that you can do if you don't know anything, shut up. It's also a sign of, you need to humble yourself down before you get, before you get got by Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. So I'm looking around if I have missed something. Alright, 2 Samuel, yeah, I read that. I just read something and said it came real fast in my head, like, it's very funny. I saw somebody with a small nose the other day, and the priests are not allowed to have a flat nose. I saw that. I just laughed because I saw some flat nose. People born with a flat nose. If you're born like this, I was just thinking about it because I saw somebody with a very tiny nose, and it was just in my head because the Israelites, the priests, are not allowed to have. Oh yeah, here it is. I didn't even color it in. Wait, so. Blemish, he shall not approach a blind man or a lame or he that had a flat nose or anything super flourish, which is that just unnecessary and the flow, just an illness, right? So yeah, that's why I was laughing. I just thought of the person that I saw. That's why I was laughing. Not in mockery, man. Right. So this is, okay, sorry, here. This is basically, actually, I'm going to just go over it for the last time. Leviticus chapter 10, verse 1. This is why it was told unto them, ye shall not uncover your heads. Uncover not your heads. For who? And rend not your clothes. For who? For these people that died, as you can see it here. Leviticus 13 and 45. And the leper in whom the plague is, his clothes shall be rent, and his head bare, and he shall put a covering upon his upper lip, and shall cry, unclean, unclean. And then you have the other one, which is here, Ezekiel 24:17. Forbear to cry, make no mourning for the dead, bind the tear upon thy head. So what? Bind the tear of thine head upon thee. So tie it. And put on thy shoes upon thy feet. So don't take his shoes off like King David did. He took his slippers off and then he tied his head because he was in mourning. And cover not thy lips. And the other one, when you are in mourning, you cover your lips for to show not your beard, because the beard is a sign of manliness, is a badge of manliness. So a man is not even supposed to actually be walking around with a mask on, because you're covering your manliness. Actually, you're not supposed to do this unless you did something wherefore you deserve to be put to shame and made an example of, right? And eat not the bread of men, right? I don't have to go up in that one again. It's about the when somebody dies. It says it right here that his wife died. Did I even read this, man? Ezekiel 24:18. So I spake unto the people in the morning. I didn't even read this. Sorry. So I spake unto the people in the morning, and at even my wife died. And I did in the morning as I was commanded. And what was that? Which is don't do this, which is verse 17. And the people said unto me, wilt thou not tell us what these things are to us, that thou doest so? Right, because the Lord told them, don't do like this. And they looked at him like, what's wrong with this guy? Why is he not mourning like how we do in the custom, you know? Then I answered them, the eye is talking about Ezekiel. The word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, speak unto the house of Israel, thus saith Yahweh the power, behold, I will profane my sanctuary, the excellency of your strength. Right, we are the sanctuary, and the Most High is going to basically destroy us. He's going to make us unholy. He's going to put us outside of the temple. We were in the temple. The excellency of our strength is going to be taken away from us. We're going to be servants instead of being served, instead of being in rulership and status. The desire of your eyes, the Most High is going to take that, which are our wives, and that which your soul pitieth, which are, your family members and stuff like that, and your sons and your daughters, whom ye have left, shall fall by the sword. That's the one that you pity. You're going to lose it. And ye shall do as I have done, which is what? This, verse 17. Ye shall not cover your lips, nor eat the bread of men when they come to for their condolences, then they bring the bread. Verse 23. And your tires shall be upon your heads, and your shoes upon your feet. Ye shall not mourn nor weep, but ye shall pine away for your iniquities, and mourn one toward another. And that is what we did. Basically, you're going to get what you deserve, and you're going to take it. Take it like a man and walk it off. That's what Ezekiel had to do in order for the whole nation to get it. Which he did this in the physical form, but it was also symbolic as a sign, because it's going to say it right here too. Thus Ezekiel is unto you a sign. According to all that he had done, ye shall do. So what? According to all that he had done, shall ye do as a nation. When this cometh, and it will come to pass, ye shall know that I am Yahweh, thy power. Also, thou son of man, shall it not be in the day when I take from them their strength, the joy of their glory, the desire of their eyes, your wives, and that whereupon they set their minds, your house, your clothing, everything that you like, your fancy car. Back in those days, we had horses, by the way, or chariots. Their sons and their daughters. That he that escapeth in that day shall come unto thee, Ezekiel, to cause thee to hear it with thine ears, to cause it to cause thee to hear it with thine ears. In that day shall thy mouth be opened to him that is escaped, and thou shalt speak, and be no more dumb. And thou shalt be a sign unto them, and they shall know that I am Yahawah, because he was not allowed to actually explain it to them, because they was asking like, and the people said unto him, unto me, unto Ezekiel, wilt thou not tell us what these things are to us, that thou doest so? So aren't you going to tell us what these things mean, that the way that you're acting right now? And he said, then I answered them, the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, dun, 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 dun. But he did this, because the Lord told him, don't mourn, don't uncover your head, basically. You need to tie your head, actually. Tie it. And put on your shoes, or your slippers, your sandals. And cover not your lips, because normally, because King David, he covered his face, in the sight of mourning. Others do it by putting ashes upon the head. Others will do it by putting dirt upon the head and stuff like that. So it goes into the mourning, which is here, 2 Samuel 15 and 30. And David went up by the ascent of Mount Olivet, and wept as he went up, and had his head covered, and he went barefoot. And all the people that was with him covered every man his head, and they went up weeping as they went up. Jeremiah 13 and 4, I already read this. They covered their heads because they was ashamed. It's a sign of shame, and that you're confounded, that you cover your head. Let me see what is here. Right here, he covered his face. Now I think I'm done. I almost skipped this, by the way. Didn't even see it. I wasn't thinking right. But yeah, this is it. And going back to over here, I know I did really long to explain such a short thing. Sorry about that. Now it's the book of Leviticus chapter 10 verse 1. And then you jump to 6. And now with that understanding, now you go to 11 and said, and that they teach the children of Israel all the statutes correctly. Not talking about that you need to uncover your head when you teach all the feature, all the statutes. No. This is the uncovering that goes into don't mourn for them. You're not allowed. And if you do, you die. And the wrath shall come upon all the people. What wrath? I just read it. Wait. Yeah, this wrath. The fire from the Lord, that wrath. But I thought I read it somewhere else too. Wait. Bewail the burning that the Lord had kindled. This wrath. He kindled the wrath. Let me color it in so I don't miss it the next time. Right. So there you have it. And to this guy, I don't know what you think you're talking about, but you're trying to justify yourself having that thing on your head. Me personally, I feel disrespected myself by looking at people that have their head covered. I personally don't like it. I personally don't like it myself, so I would not have you in the camp start standing like this. Like, I would tell you something, and you would know. And he would know before anyway. So with that, I'm going to say shalom.